All right, guys, less than 2 weeks left. Now is your chance to get entered to win this badass hot rod. It is a double entry day today. So every dollar you spend on lsnasty.com gets you 2 entries to win this 650 horsepower nitrous fed beast. We got some new merchandise up on the website as well, so you guys can check it out. We'll race for cash. If you guys win this thing, I assume you guys are gonna make a lot of cash racing, especially if it's anything with 4 doors. 650 horsepower, RC components wearing, slicks. So you can run it in the street if you want to. I'm not gonna advise street racing, but if you wanna go out there and crack someone's skull, you are set up for it. 2 10-pound nitrous bottles. It's got C16 in the standalone nitrous system. You get a 5-gallon pail of C16. You guys will be ready to race when you pick this up, drive it home, take it to the track, whatever you want to do. lsnasty.com, first link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Exciting video. Get to talk to you guys a little bit about some tech stuff. I know some of you guys watch the channel like to pick up some information. Who's on fire? Oh, God! See what parts we're running. Before we get started on anything, I just want to make a statement here. All the parts that we run on our builds, especially these higher end builds that we do, we essentially hand pick what products we feel are the best to do the job, and that's what we use. Whether we have a partnership with a company or not, we run what we feel is the best. Thankfully, the history has shown that we've been able to create some great relationships with these companies that we already use their parts on our cars, and then when we're doing another build, they jump on board and we start a great relationship. And that has continued with Turbosmart, their Wastegates blow-off valves, and they make a bunch of other little nifty, handy products that can really improve your race program. So I contacted the guys up there. I said, hey man, I'm doing this big block build. I didn't really know what I needed as far as, I knew general idea I needed to have 2 large wastegates. I was gonna try to run 1 large blow-off valve, but then with packaging, we ended up switching over to 2. I called them up and said, hey guys, what do I need? Bunch of information, super helpful on the phone, great customer service, awesome guys to deal with. And they got us hooked up with 2 wastegates, 2 blow-off valves, and we're gonna be running one of their fuel pressure regulators, which is one of the components that I didn't know they made. Also, they make oil pressure regulators, another component I didn't know they made.
For the turbos.
For the turbos, yeah, oil pressure regulator. So you'll see some people out there, super smoky. We've had issues with it. We've got to put check valves on there, and that's a great solution to a turbo over oiling issue.
Yep. So I got one on a MK Ultra, and that fixed all the oiling issues.
Matt here is the nerd. At least he was the nerd before his wreck. This video will be we'll have to use the tape to tell if he still's got it or not. Stills? Did I say stills? If he still got it or not. And
who had the rig?
First off, we got 60 millimeter wastegates. The wastegates are super important for those of you guys that don't know what the wastegates do. This is how we regulate our boost. The wastegate releases pressure on the pre-turbo exhaust side, the hot side, and opens and closes, pretty much controls turbo shaft speed. Matt, that's just about as far as I could talk about it.
All right, so kind of like John said, so your turbo is driven off of your turbine. Your turbine speed is controlled by how much exhaust gases are passing through it. So with your wastegate on there, you're bypassing your exhaust gases going through the turbine. This might sound really, some of these guys are on watching it, they're like, we know this, but some people might be like,
we're covering all bases.
Yep, so this mount here, this just bleeds off. It's just a valve. It has a diaphragm in here, a valve seat that goes in here. It's called a fire ring. Don't forget your fire ring because you're going to crank it up.
Fire ring.
Yeah. So a lot of people have seen this. This is your fire ring. It's got the Turbosmart comes with a 3-angle valve job, so just kind of like cylinder head, 5-angle, 3-angle, good flowing. That seals in there, and then whenever you tighten the V-band clamp down, pushes on a little bit, seals fire ring. So that's what's going to seal that up. There's a lot of different style wastegates. There's large, small, there's internal, there's external. So like an internal wastegate will have an actuator, and then it'll have a little flap in there, and that'll just bypass internally in this. You don't see a lot of performance stuff that's going to have internally gated turbos. So everything's going to have externally gated turbos. You're going to have something like this. These are 60s. You know, on a smaller build, you can get away with some, think Turbosmart makes some 45s. Those are a good option. I've ran those. Some of the Honda guys, you know, they'll run a single 45 or a single 60. I don't really think that there's a disadvantage to overgating it. Some people are like, oh, it won't be able to control it, but I've ran really small engines with twin 60s and not had any kind of issues with opening them and then it just bleeding off all the exhaust pressure.
You can get away with having a little bit too much wastegate. You're gonna know if you don't have enough wastegate.
Yep, you'll get into boost creep. So what'll happen is, like, say you want to run 8 pounds down the track and the thing's going to 8, and the higher you rev it, more exhaust gases, more pressure on the turbine, and it'll just run away. So the thing, you might start at 8 and then toward red line it'll go to like 12, 14, 15, 30, whatever. Smaller engines, depending on the wastegate mounting direction, they can have issues. Also, like, you don't want to have there's a few different ways to mount the wastegate. You have wastegate priority, so exhaust gases would be flowing into it, and then turbine priority, which would be the exhaust gases would have to come and make a reverse direction. So I usually always mount them in wastegate priority, so that's why we use the saddle flanges from Motion Raceworks. It makes a really nice wastegate priority setup. You know, you can get good exhaust flow to the valve. There's not going to be any issues of it blowing it open or anything, but it will greatly, like, you can take a 60 millimeter gate, put it in the wrong way, and it might not flow good. But really, you know, try to get your wastegate placement as good as possible. So the Turbosmart gates, I've ran Turbosmart for a really long time. I've tried them all, and I think that they are probably, in my opinion, the best gate, just because they're very compact. They're very high quality. The casting on the part of the gate, that's the cast part, very high quality. It's all billet. These also have a port here so you can run water through it, so you can do a liquid cool gate. Of course, we're not running any kind of water through this engine. It's all dry, so we won't be using that. But you guys that are mounting these in like a real tight engine bay or a Honda or a street car, and you have issues with the gate overheating, which is a thing, you can run liquid lines to this and cool the gate. So these are also the compressed gas version. A little bit different. A lot of you guys probably been running just a regular wastegate, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're running CO2 and you're buying new gates, just get a compressed gas version, because it's designed to run compressed gas on top of the diaphragm. The diaphragm's reversed. All these Turbosmart stuff, they use Nomex diaphragms. I think they're tested to like 220 psi. It's a lot. So
we've had some wastegate diaphragm issues.
Yep.
Cost us some time, cost us some runs, and essentially what happens is you're feeding CO2 pressure on top of the gate, and it just keeps feeding it because it's dumping it out, and the wastegate does not work properly. Then you start having boost issues, and at the track it's definitely something that's tough to chase because you're looking at a million different things.
Yeah, and it can cause, you know, all it takes is to lose one round, you lose the entire race, and you can be going down the track, and like we're putting 80 on the dome, but even though it was trying to feed 80, it couldn't get there because the diaphragm was just leaking internally. So we went and cycled the HOLLEY, and we heard it leaking, and that's whenever we tore it apart.
So this gate here, you know, we run all of our stuff here, especially drag race specific. We are never going, the only time we're not using CO2 is in the burnout.
Yep.
So they're going to see CO2. They're going to see a lot of CO2 pressure. You know, we're almost maxing out our regulators 125 pounds on the dome because we're trying to make everything that the turbo will make, and they're going through hell. So that's why we've been through a couple. We've run a couple different brands. I mean, we literally, with the amount of cars that we have every single brand of wastegate that's probably manufactured in the racing programs that we've tried out. We haven't failed with all of them. We see where some could be improved, and this one right here is, I think, the best wastegate, especially for what we do, drag race CO2 out there.
Yep, no, it's good. It's they come with a lot of different springs. So we run usually the lightest spring. You'll run like a 3-pound spring. Some people run without springs, but they include all the springs. They have a locking ring here that I think it makes it substantially easier to change the springs, because if you guys have ever mess with another one that bolts around, you're trying to hold the cap on there and then screw the bolts out, and it's just a pain. Where these, you just push it down there and lock the ring down. So wastegate wise, like I said, I've ran it for a long time, and then like John said, these people don't just send us stuff like, hey, we want you to run this and we're going to give it to you. We find products we like, we reach out to them, we want to see if they have would like to do a partnership with us, and even if They said no, sorry, we'd still be running these.
Yeah, well, I called them up to buy them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like I was just like, we're not out here with our hand out like this. We're getting the parts for the car that we think will get us in the winner circle, the most consistent, the best parts, the longest lasting, and Turbosmart. The quality, you know, when you compare them to a lot of the other stuff out there, it's pretty unmatched.
It's really good quality. I've never had any issues, and I've installed a ton of gates. They have the 50 millimeter race port blow-off valve.
So we're gonna be rocking 2 of these guys here. I like these because they are very compact. If I were just to go over here, this is I'll cover up the name, no comparison there. Both 50 millimeter blow-off valves. Now, if you're just comparing them overall height, they're bigger. I know everyone at home's like, oh, well, that's not really a big deal. You know, who cares? It's a little bit bigger. Well, a build like this where we are maximizing our room, I mean, we are stuffing everything in here from motor plate to the front bumper. We got 16 inches. You know, if this thing's close to it, if it's a few inches further, it don't fit. So these things right here,
weight-wise, you know, we spend a lot of money on trying to reduce weight. I mean, sometimes we're buying titanium hardware and switching this out with carbon fiber, and the wastegate itself is lighter than the majority of the other wastegates. So, and they also offer, you know, they do a bunch of different stuff. They, like John said, they have a lot of other products, and one of the products that we're going to be using on Slick Rick is the blow-off valve position sensor. So we'll be able to look at the blow-off valve and tell if it's closed or open, and the wastegate position sensor. So we'll be able to target a certain valve travel instead of. We just put 60 on the dome. Well, is 60 on the dome closing it? Is it coming open a little bit? We'll be able to know all that through the position sensor that's in the blow-off valve and the wastegate.
So the overall product, super nice. Just wanted to do a quick little video. I know I did an unboxing. They sent us some merch. They sent us, you know, 2 wastegates, 2 blow-off valves. Super thankful. Super excited to be working with them. We use their products on a number of different vehicles here, but just wanted to showcase these because these are badass. If you guys are out there, you guys are getting your build together. I know we just went over safety stuff. I've had a bunch of people reach out to us and say, hey man, I'm gonna buy a Race Tech seat. That's awesome to see. We're not out here just trying to shove a product down your throat. We're trying to be like, hey, we run this because we feel like it's the best and will give us the best opportunity to win. I know everyone else, they're not building their race cars to lose. They want to go out there, they want to go fast, be consistent, work on it as little as possible, and win. Do you not want to win, Ava?
Oh no, she got excited about winning.
Yeah, she got excited about winning.
She's like, I like being in the winner circle.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Turbosmart. Go check them out. Their link is always in the description below. They got a extensive amount of, I mean, you can even get different colors. You can get different sizes, different styles. They got fuel pressure regulators for everything.
Yeah, mechanical, EFI, factory bolting stuff. So we're gonna be running one of their mechanical regulators, which I'm excited because I haven't got to run one of those yet. But just kind of go over it. It looks like a very good quality product like the rest of it. So
check out Turbosmart. Their link's in the description below. We are getting to work here. We're about to pull this motor out and get the oil pan on there. So we got it halfway assembled. Now we'll disassemble it. Motor converter being tomorrow. Get this big block yanked out of here, oil pan on there, converter in there, shove it all back in there, and then hopefully another week we'll have the turbo kit fabbed up, do some titanium exhaust, TISS fabs, some stainless bros, stainless race parts solutions, aluminum for the charge pipe, get our Turbosmart wastegates and blow-off valves on there, and it should be a badass little hot rod. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for your interest in the build. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for going to lsnasty.com and getting some merchandise because we got less than less than 2 weeks and that Trailblazer's going home to someone. So go to lsnasty.com. That's going to be your first link in the description below. And
thanks for the candy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I've gotten
a bunch of people sent
awesome
candy to Matt. So
thank you very much.
If you can't tell, he's doing way better. He's getting every bite of candy he has, he stands up a little bit straighter. So
yeah, no, yeah. So I can't eat too much. I'll be leaning the other way.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe. Go down and click that subscribe button, hit the bell, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload.